Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's continue the look at the top max lux in 2019. And then today we'll be doing light. And then I did say in the wood video, but later this week, the 27th, there will be the promotion in the library where one element will be featured a day, and then you will get a higher rate of drops from chests. So I highly recommend that you, take advantage of those days. Use the medals to get the extra chests, since their effectiveness will be raised. And then maybe look at my lists and see if there are any max lux that you could make from those. But yeah, let's look at light, and I think light is the strongest element as far as max lux that you can use. Part of that is because of their element advantage. They can go to pretty much any quest and are useful in there. And then, yeah, just a lot of top tier max lux. But as usual, we look at Pierce monsters with the double null ability. And then the first one is Sanctuary Dragon Ascension. This might be a surprise, but maybe it wouldn't be if you're aware of like what I look for in a max look. But he is a Pierce, he's got good speed, double null ability, flight null damage wall, no gauge, which is important to me because I like to streamline my clears. And then the blast bump combo. And then, yeah, that's pretty great. And then you don't even have to make him. You can just finish the normal quests, and then you'll get him just naturally through there. So yeah, he will see a lot of use for you, I think, if you get him early. I haven't used him, but that's just because I have so many other max lux that I can use. But he might be worth a hero scroll, actually. Give him a kin speed ableberry, and then that'll make him even more useful. Okay, next up is Hikaru Genji, and then we'll look at his evolution form. But this is another Pierce with the Blast Pump combo, and then he's got null gravity barrier and no gauge. He's super basic as a max lux. For beginners, he's good. His quest is not too difficult. You can bring like as many ducky as possible, and then just blaze through that quest. But he'll be replaced pretty quickly. Especially by characters with double nulls. But once you do that, then you can move him to the Ascension form, and then he becomes a bounce with null gravity barrier, and then the speed up bump combo, which is pretty nice. He could be good for making the max luck of Tsukuyomi. Okay, next up is a colossal monster, and that is Eden. He is a Pierce with the null damage wall, null gravity barrier, and the blast pump combo. And then as a support max look, he's very good. There are not a lot of quests where you need both the damage wall and the gravity barrier, but again, just the versatility of being able to go to one or the other with the Pierce and the Blast Pump combo is really, really nice. He also has very high speed for being a max look, so that can help be more tanky for your team. He is a colossal monster, so it will take some time to make him, but he is worth it. Okay, next up is another Pierce character with the Blast Pump combo, recently got a buff. And then this is Skula, Evolution. She's a Pierce with the double null, null warp, and then null magic circle, and then no gauge. So she's pretty great. Max lux with the null magic circle are still pretty rare. And then max lux with the double null with the null magic circle are super duper rare. So I highly, highly recommend her. And then her quest is pretty easy too, so yeah, definitely get on that. Okay, next let's look at some bounce monsters with the Blast Pump combo. First one here is Tiger X, and then yeah, she's real simple, just like the water version. Bounce with no gravity barrier, no gauge, high HP, high speed, and then the Blast Pump combo. She's really good for easy quests, and then more and more we're seeing easy quests with no gimmicks at all. So for those, Tiger X would be really great, just because of the high speed and then the no gauge. So yeah, it should be easy to use and then quick to use as well. And another one of those, a bounce monster with the Blast Pump combo. This is Pine, Ascension. And then she is bounced with just the Minesweeper. So for mine quests, instead of Tiger, you could bring Pine, and then she would be pretty good. Also a pretty easy quest, so you can make her pretty quickly. And then here is Emerald Dragon Ascension. This might be surprising because he's super duper old. He's only got 3 digits on his Monsterpedia entry. But he is kind of like Tiger. Bounce with the Blast Whip combo, high HP, high speed, but he has a double null, flight, no warp. So actually you could get away without making Pine, and you could just make Emerald Dragon instead. But I put them both in there because they're both easy and they're both useful in their own ways. But yeah, this guy's got pretty great staying power. He's pretty good. And he's actually looking like a monster. He's not like a human like all the other characters. Okay, next up is a personal favorite, and that is Hecate Kale. He is a super extreme. He is a Pierce with no warp, no block. And I've used him a surprising amount of times. You could even use him for Apocalypse, the impossible monster, I think it is. His quest is a little tricky. There are the revival loops where you want to take down as many characters as you can in one turn. But if you can do it, I would say he is worth it. Okay, next up is a favorite of a lot of people, and that is Karen Navis. And then most people focus on the evolution form. Bounce with no gravity barrier, no warp. That's a super duper versatile double null ability. But she also has a good strike shot. She becomes a Pierce until she hits a wall, and then she reverts back to Bounce. That comes out pretty often, every 16 turns, and it's pretty powerful as well. And then the bump combo is good too, the lock-on Pierce Wave. But I really like her Ascension version as well, and as you can see I've used her a lot. She's Pierce with no block and flight. It's a pretty versatile double null ability. She also has the piercing homing shot, which is pretty good for cleaning up little guys or scorpions. That's come in pretty handy. And then finally we will look at Titanium, and this also might be surprising. But he is a Pierce with the Demon Slayer M, and that's it. Back in the old days, he used to be really good for farming the normal quests in order to raise your rank. But those were, I guess, cancelled or like overwritten. But he's one of the very, very few drop monsters with a Pierce and then the Slayer. There are a lot of characters with Bounce and then Slayer, but yeah, not a lot with the Pierce. So that's why Titanium Ascension is kind of special. Really easy quest, there's no gimmicks in there, so he was pretty popular if you were hunting for Hakua. But yeah, there's only one Colossal monster, Eden, and then no Impossible monsters. Even though we've gone like 5 years into the game, I still feel like that the Impossibles and the Colossals for Light are not as good as the other elements. But the super extremes and the normals are really, really good. So yeah, I would make a lot of those if you can. As for honorable mentions, I would say the impossible closest to being worth making is Yashamyo, Pierce with a no gravity barrier, no warp. That's still pretty rare for a drop monster. And then as for some limited characters, I really like Asuna Kirito. If you have them, you can make use of them. Pierce with no gravity barrier, no block. That's pretty useful. I've used them a lot, as you can see. Elizabeth and Hawk is pretty underrated. When I first got them, I thought they were just like a joke, like novelty character, because their stats are so low. But a Bounce with the no wind, no block, and then the recovery S was actually pretty helpful. They were my max luck when I made the max luck of Kain, and they were super useful in there. And then even for Apocalypse, they are useful in there. And then here's Tart and Torute. They came around for Valentine's Day. They are Pierce with a triple null. That's pretty amazing. High speed. And then they have the same null gimmicks and sling style and element as Solomon Ascension. So they'll be great partners together. I'm very happy that I have these guys. But yeah, that is a look at my top light max lux. If you have to start with any element, I would start with light. Just because a lot of these are pretty easy quests and then very strong max lux as well. Okay, thanks for watching and we'll see you again. Take care.